Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, a game that takes heroic and villainous characters and forces them to form fraternal bonds in the crucible of battle. Hi, I'm Brian, safe X fan and bureaucratic wunderkind. Please suck my big Donkey Kong penis. It's 75 kilometers. That's almost 46 miles. I've spent the last week and a half jacking off to Super Smash Brothers. Porn non-stop, and I am going to tell you all about it for 12,934 days, and then also talk about the United States Department of Labor's Occupational Safety and Health Administration, also known as Oh Shit. I'm here to hold Super Smash Brothers to account, because when you take 7 beloved characters and force them to fuck for our entertainment, the least you can do is make sure the buildings are up to code. So let's go ahead and find every OSHA violation in every stage in every Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. First, let's explain the process. We have to start by choosing the correct protection, and unfortunately there isn't an OSHA guide to sex education, so we're gonna just go with basic condoms. Form 12,934.1317.350.16, Section A, Subsection B, Point 6. I'll read an excerpt for you so you can understand the basic concept of this video, and also the hellscape I had to slog through the past week. No contractor or subcontractor or subcontractor contracting for any contract work shall require any laborer or sub-laborer to work. Basically, we're here to build a safer experience for these characters, because when you walk into an unknown space, I want the first question on your mind to be, where am I? There are roughly 350 regulations in Form 1926. How many pages is that? About 684. Most of these regulations are irrelevant, but I still had to read all 685 pages in order to know which ones to cut. Which reminds me, this video idea came from commenter nshady16. So if you have an unraveled idea, why don't you go ahead and fuck off and die, you piece of garbage! Thanks, nshady16, for making me read 686 fucking pages of Smash Brothers fanfiction. I'll read an excerpt for you so you can understand the basic concept. Kirby, imagine that Mario's cock is about 40 inches long. Kirby was so hard and wanted it to suck. It's so bad, pretty sexy, right? I think so. So I cut out all of the regulations. So there goes like 80% of this video. So I cut out all of the regulations about personnel safety because, again, we're not talking about hard hats, we're talking about hard hats. Unfortunately, this also meant I had to cut the entirety of subsection R, steel erection. So there goes like 103% of the jokes in this video. Fortunately, I didn't have to cut the entirety of subsection S, big Donkey Kong boaters. Out of those 350 regulations, we're left with 46 that actually relate to Smash Bros. Stages. And again, we're just using the 34,000 stages that you get when you boot up Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And any secret stages that pop up later, that's probably just unnecessary DLC, which is a different form of illegality. I'm gonna explain all of these OSHA violations as we go along, but I just want you to keep in mind that there is a maximum penalty of $39 per OSHA violation. We'll get into that later.
One later.
Let's remember back to the beginning of this video when I talked about violation penalties. I just want you to keep in mind that there is a maximum penalty of $39. I mentioned that every serious violation of OSHA is $39 in fines. I forgot to mention that every violation of OSHA is actually $39,350,103,317 in fines. Yikes. I am going to pretend that I am a character in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Pretty sick, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and find every OSHA violation in Super Smash Brothers. Let's start with the codes that pretty much every stage violates. Employee emergency action plans. It's very important to have an emergency action plan, especially if that emergency action plan is for if a mountaintop breaks off and slides into the ocean. Look at this polar bear. He has no fucking
emergency action plan.
Disposal of waste materials. If you are dropping waste materials more than 25 feet, you need to be putting it in a chute. In Flat Zone XXX, it is all debris, all the time, and it should be in a chute. Bam! That's all the OSHA regulations that were violated in the entire game, Mom. That's almost 2 violations. In total, that's $78 in fines. Which is why I am sending you this video, Masahiro Sakurai. Hi, I'm David. OSHA doesn't need to hear about all this evidence I've compiled. All you must do is put me into the fucking game, and then you should send me $50 million. I'm in a real tough situation with the mafia. Please. Sakurai, they are going to harm and kill me. If you don't send me the money, I am going to push you over the edge into a pit full of acid, and then I'm gonna punch you until you fucking explode. By the way, Sakurai, I know you actually fucking suck at Smash Bros, and I could kick your ass with any character. Final destination items off. And also, you better have an emergency action plan readily available, because I'm about to fire space lasers directly at your house. Also, you could send me Kirby's phone number. I know he is real. Where are you hiding him? And I have yet to find a restroom, and I need to pee so bad, and I can't hold it in much longer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And thanks, I'll be back for making me say all this more on it. Shit. Hi, I'm Gilbert. Bye. Puss. Potato. So, Brian.